They say, France once had a village that vanished. Not vanished like a ghost town. Vanished like it was never there at all. In 1593, Auvigny was a small village on the edge of the Chartreuse forest. Population? Around 112. It had a blacksmith, a single church bell, and a baker who only made one type of bread. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous. Until one morning, no one answered the mail. A traveling monk named Brother Emile recorded his final journal that same year. He described walking into Auvigny around sunrise. He saw chimney smoke. He heard birds, but not a single voice. He knocked on 3 doors. No answer. The animals were tied up and alive. The wells were full. Bread was left huffy, but every bed in the village was still warm, as if someone had just left it. The journal ends with one final line. They are not gone. They are not dead. They are asleep in the stone. Brother Emile's letter was discovered nearly 200 years after he disappeared, hidden beneath the altar of a long-abandoned chapel. The ink was faded, the parchment torn, but the final page was intact. No death, no disease, just stillness. The village is asleep, but I am not welcome in the dream. After that day, no more letters came from Auvigny. No one reported its destruction. It simply stopped being mentioned. The royal mail carriage, which passed the village weekly, rerouted itself with no explanation. A blank section was drawn over the area on future maps. What happened to Emile is unknown, but the only item found with the letter was his rosary, burnt black, still warm. Locals say the bell in Auvigny still rings on the date the letter was written, December 3rd. Every year, just once. No graves, no names. Tone. History turns suspicious. Conspiracy undertone introduced. Here's where things stop making sense. In the National Archives of France, thousands of villages are recorded. Births, deaths, crop yields, taxes, but not Auvigny. Not a single birth certificate. No marriage records. No names of the dead. Some say the records were destroyed during the Revolution. Others believe they were never written at all. But in 1844, a historian named Benoît Armand made a discovery, signed by people who weren't born. When Benoît tried to trace the names, he suffered a seizure. His final words, "I saw them, still breathing, not moving, watching me." Later that week, the ledger vanished from the archives. The page where Auvigny should have been was torn out, or maybe it was never there. In 1721, the French government hired a royal cartographer, Louis Maret. His task: survey the forgotten village of Auvigny, last mentioned over a century before. He was experienced, precise, and confident. He departed in spring. He never came back. But his horse did. Riderless. Saddle torn, dragging a cart of empty parchment, except for one page. I found it, but it found me first. The journal ended mid-sentence, his last sketched map. It had no roads, no rivers, just a black spiral where Auvigny should have been, and one word scrawled beneath it in red ink: Sommeil, sleep. Even long after Auvigny vanished, one sound still remains, the bell. Locals say it tolls once a year. December 3rd, 2 to the 2nd. No one pulls the rope. There's no wind, but it rings. In 1992, a group of skeptics camped nearby. They brought mics, cameras, equipment. They heard it. The video, overexposed, unusable. But on the tape, someone whispers, "It's not just the bell, it's the breath between the chimes." The hikers left before sunrise. One of them never spoke again. Children's drawings taped to a classroom wall all show the same crooked village path. In 1903, a schoolteacher in northern France collected 12 art assignments from her students. Each child was told to draw a place they'd seen in a dream. All 12 drew the same village, same church, same clock tower. Same name written underneath Auvigny. None of the children knew each other. None had ever left their town, and yet they all claimed in sleep they had walked the village's path and heard the same song. One student said, "They don't talk when you look at them, but if you close your eyes, they tell you everything." The drawings were burned, but in the ashes, the teacher found something impossible: A piece of bread, still warm, no mold, just the scent of lavender and dust.
In 1936, a paranormal investigator named Madeline Vaux traveled to the Auvigny ruins alone. She didn't believe in ghosts. She believed in history, and she believed something had been erased. She stayed 3 nights, slept inside what used to be the village chapel. She wrote nothing, not a single word. But when she returned home, her journal was full. Pages she never touched, ink she never owned. They were written in French, Latin, and something older. One entry said, "Do not dig, do not knock. If you find us, pretend you did not." Handwriting experts claimed the ink was iron-based. Human blood. In 1941, during the war, 2 deserters sought shelter in the hills. They found a village that wasn't on any map, quiet, untouched. No guards, no soldiers. No people. But the houses were clean, beds made, and candles were still warm. One of the soldiers, Emile Langlois, wrote, "It was like someone had just stepped out for air, like they'd be back any second." They only stayed 2 hours, but when they returned to their unit, 3 days had passed, and both men had bruises deep, circular around their wrists, like they'd been held down. Neither of them remembered sleeping, only the sound of footsteps above them. Langlois never spoke of it again. The other soldier disappeared in 1949. Visual, a candle in a ruin. In 1978, a team of geology students used ground-penetrating radar to map the soil beneath Auvigny's foundations. They expected bedrock, tree roots, maybe old pipes. They did not expect movement. The report described rhythmic biological pulsing. Like beneath the floorboards. The results, when played back, one researcher claimed to feel sleepy, another fainted. One engineer whispered, "They're dreaming us. We're inside their sleep." The radar team left, but the breathing never stopped, and it's still being recorded tonight. In 1984, a local antique dealer acquired a broken wall clock from an abandoned farmhouse near Auvigny. It didn't work. No batteries, no key. Just dust and silence. But when the dealer left it near her bedroom, she woke up at 3:15 a.m. to whispering. She recorded it. The audio revealed whispered Latin, then Old French, then her own name. The whisper came once every minute, as the broken second hand twitched forward. One click at a time. No power. No mechanism. Just movement. When experts examined the clock, they found it contained not gears but 3 human teeth, embedded where the chime should be. The dealer sold the clock to a museum. It never arrived. But every year on December 3rd, she still hears her name. Static on the frequency. A dusty radio dial. Hand slowly turns the knob. Low hum builds. In 1991, a ham radio operator named Lucien Durand was scanning for military chatter. Just past 2 a.m. on a dead band at 144.7 megahertz, he found something. It was static, but behind it, a pattern, a tone. 3 knocks, then coordinates. Lucien triangulated it. The signal came from within the ruins of Auvigny. No equipment should exist there. No power lines. No transmission towers. The next night, the pattern changed. It repeated a word. Lucien never replied. But weeks later, his wife reported him standing outside at 2 a.m., facing the forest, eyes closed, mouth moving, repeating the word. He disappeared the next night. The radio still plays the same signal. Soft knock. Static grows louder. Coordinates repeat again. One eye in the frame. Teenagers laughing. Urban exploration vlog begins. In 2007, a trio of vloggers explored the ruins of Auvigny, hoping to find ghosts. They joked, laughed, posted part 1 on YouTube, but part 2 was never uploaded because the footage showed something they hadn't seen during filming. Handheld camera turns, shows a dark doorway. Static glitch overlays. In the doorway, a shape, not a full figure. Just an eye, one wide, unblinking eye, too tall, too still. The boys didn't react. They never saw it, but in the raw file's metadata, the timestamp glitches when the eye appears. It repeats 0 hours 3 minutes and 15 seconds, 0:03, 150, 0 hours 3 minutes and 15 seconds. One frame was corrupted. When restored, the audio whispered, "They're filming us too." Static burst, VHS-style distortion. Final image, one boy standing still in the background, slightly swaying. 2 of the 3 boys deleted their channels. The third hasn't posted since 2010, but the video still exists. And if you frame by frame, the eye blinks. In 1928, A Parisian watchmaker acquired an antique pocket watch from a traveling collector. It was said to be found in the grass outside the ruins of Auvigny. The year engraved inside, 1602. The strange part, it still ticked. No winding, no mechanism inside, only a single line etched beneath the lid. Sleep is the lock, I am the key. The watchmaker opened the casing. Inside was a second, smaller dial. It wasn't showing time. It was showing dates, and they weren't in sequence. Some hadn't happened yet. Every night at 3:03 a.m., the watch ticks faster, even when locked away. The watchmaker gave one warning in a letter: never wear it near the ruins, or you'll be the one keeping time. The watch lying still, then blinking like an eye. Thermal drone footage scanning a forest clearing. Heat blooms under the earth. In 2015, a tech company tested thermal drones over the French countryside. The drone pilot spotted something strange. In a patch of land where the village Auvigny once stood, there were 22 heat signatures, identical in size, evenly spaced, buried precisely 3 feet below the surface. No graves, no bones, no decomposition, and each signature was breathing. The team returned 48 hours later. Only 21 remained, and the drone recorded a long, slow depression in the dirt as if something had gotten up. The footage was deleted from the public demo, but the pilot still hears the breathing. Even now, infrared still image on laptop. One signature blinks. Mud trail. Old boot prints leading through a ruined village road. A paranormal researcher in 2002 walked the perimeter of Auvigny, armed with nothing but an old map, a crucifix, and a notebook. He called it a pilgrimage. He believed the villagers weren't dead, just trapped in perpetual prayer. He circled the ruins clockwise 7 times, reciting Latin rites. Then he disappeared. Notebook entries. Handwriting becomes more frantic, then stops. 3 days later, locals found a trail of boot prints leading into the village, but not back out. The notebook was found beside the well. Last line: they walk when we forget them. They sleep when we fear them. Surveillance cam from a nearby farm. Frame glitch at 3:03 a.m. Brief figure walking across empty field. That's when the bell rang. 3 times. Louder than ever before. There were no clouds. No wind. And no one visible inside the tower. Only the footprints. In 2017, several people who visited the ruins of Auvigny reported a strange phenomenon. They heard knocking. Not distant. Not random. Knocking that matched their own pulse. One visitor said, I held my wrist. The knock slowed when my heart slowed, sped up when I panicked, and then it began to knock before the heartbeat, as if anticipating it. No one visible behind the door, just sound. On woman recorded her experience. On playback, she whispers, it knows I'm here. It's knocking from inside me. Medical scan taken hours later revealed bruising on her sternum, like someone had knocked her from within. Still frame of her CT scan, something blurry beneath her ribs. Brief motion glitch. She never returned. But every December 3rd, at 3:03 a.m., her front door knocks. 3 times even when she's not home. The mirror at the altar in 2020. A mirror was found buried near the old Auvigny chapel, wrapped in cloth, tied in twine, and beneath it scratched into the altar stone was a single warning: do not face the altar while facing yourself. Mirror reflecting empty pews, then slowly showing a figure seated where no one is. Researchers tested it in controlled conditions. The mirror reflected things that weren't in the room. Shadows that moved opposite the camera angle. Figures that only appeared in the reflection. Walking into the village, the most disturbing moment. One researcher looked into the mirror and asked, what do you see when you dream? The reflection replied, you. Mirror now shows the researcher smiling, even though his face is blank. He hasn't spoken since. The mirror is sealed in a lead-lined box beneath the Paris catacombs. But sometimes, workers report hearing tapping from inside the stone. The one who woke up in 2024. A man was found unconscious near the edge of the forest that borders where Auvigny once stood. No. Missing persons match. Shoes from the 1800s. When he woke up, he said only one thing: I walked there. I slept there. Doctors ran tests. His teeth had dirt beneath them. His lungs contained pollen from plants that went extinct 200 years ago. He aged backwards over 3 days. Hair darkened. Scars vanished. And then, on the 3rd night, he disappeared. Empty bed. Blinds flutter. Monitor flatlines. Nobody seen leaving his hospital room. Contained only one item, a folded piece of parchment. It read, I'm sorry, one of us had to wake up. Camera zooms out from his empty bed. In the reflection of the window, 21 silhouettes standing still in the fog. In 2029, a private archivist known only as Thome found a mislabeled film canister in the French Ministry of Culture. No records, no origin. Only a white tag. Do not view. Return to vault. 3. He viewed it anyway. The footage was black and white, silent, shaky. It showed someone walking the roads of Ovigny from inside the village. Person view. Silent streets. Still figures in windows. The bell tower looms. Each corner turned revealed more of the same streets. More fog. Same direction. Endless turns. After 3 minutes, the reel ended, but Thome said, he watched for 17 hours. The path is watching. It knows who watches back. I saw myself filming from the wrong side of the lens. Later that week, security found him asleep in the archive vault. Standing. Eyes open. Still, the camera in the room froze at exactly 3:03 a.m. 1 frame before failure showed his reflection blinking twice. He left a message on his desk. It loops because we remember. Stop remembering. The village that slept for 100 years. VHS flicker. A slow aerial shot of where the village once stood. No buildings, just grass. They say Ovigny never existed. That it was a mistranslation. A clerical error. An exaggeration in a dusty archive. But someone still updates its weather reports. Someone still marks its borders on old survey maps. And every year, on December 3rd at 3:03 a.m., someone dreams it. A crowd of people standing still, their faces blank, their shadows flicker separately. The bell rings, the mirror reflects. The ground breathes, and someone knocks. It's not a curse. It's not a ghost story. It's not even a village. It's a cycle, a story you're now a part of, because you've heard the name. You've seen the signs, and now, you'll start to remember it in dreams. An old VHS tape rewinds. Title, The Village That Slept for 100 Years. Stops, ejects, and when it comes for you, not all at once but in silence. Don't answer the door. Don't wear the watch. And whatever you do, don't look in the mirror. Someone had to wake up. Now it's your turn to fall asleep.